So I talked to Kevin Hunt, the tournament director for the Invitationals, yesterday, and we are required now to have the back seats in our boats. Do you know why?
So if you feel tired, you can sit down and keep fishing?
No, and it's not because we're gonna have a marshal or a camera. Well, it actually has to do with a camera. They've got a partnership with a security camera company, and they're going to be mounting security cameras on the back of every competitor's boat. And those security cameras are literally going to be watching us throughout the entire day. I think this is phenomenal. And when we come back, I'm going to give you all the details about it, because it's really talking to him and I talked to somebody at the company that's providing these cameras, and it's really interesting. I think it's a bold move by MLF and the Tackle Warehouse Invitationals.
Okay.
We'll be back right after this, guys. Welcome back to Mark Fisher Outdoors, everybody. I'm Mark Fisher.
I'm Megan Fuller.
So yeah, Major League Fishing and the Tackle Warehouse Invitationals has partnered with Vosker security cameras.
Okay.
These are security cameras that you would typically think of, like if you owned a construction site or an office building or even your house. Quite honestly, I'm looking at this like those would be perfect down around the barn where I've got my equipment. I help and store equipment for other people and things like that. Just security cameras. And here's the thing, these things have battery power for, I believe, that 6 months, but they have a solar panel attached which allows the recharging of that battery, which I believe is one of the reasons that the battery has 6 months worth of power, because it can get charged through a solar.
And probably why MLF picked it.
Right.
So
It makes perfect sense.
while
Right.
it's
Doesn't
being
need
outside.
it can be outside. It doesn't need to be, it's going to be able to watch for 2 or 3 days in a row without, that use having to, because one of the biggest concerns, and quite honestly, one of the reasons that I called Kevin right away was, hey, if we're going to have your camera in the boat, not mine, I want to still have mine to do videos, and I only have one port to be able to do that. So I was thinking, okay, I'm going to have to figure out how this is going to get done. But oh no, you don't have to plug these in. You just mount them on the seat, and it's done and ready to roll.
You don't want guys to be like, "Oh, you can't monitor me. It's dead." It's
yeah,
not
right,
my fault.
right.
Sorry.
The battery died.
Battery died.
But let's get into the monitoring.
Right.
Let's get into the monitoring part for a minute. So this means with these cameras, and I've got a picture of these, that at any moment Kevin Hunt can be on his phone. Mm-hmm. He can just scroll through and go, okay, I'm going to check out how Mark is doing. Doink. And he can look at the camera that's on my boat. He's got an app that will look at every one of the cameras that are out there on the invitationals, and at any time he can look at what I'm doing, where I'm at, all of this based on that camera, which means that, and again, I'm not saying this in a negative way, Big Brother could always be watching, which is fun, which is great as a deterrent to doing shady stuff in a tournament situation. I think this is a phenomenal move.
What they're doing is they're watching to see if you're using forward-facing sonar.
They're watching. That's primarily what this is for. Yes, because again, there would be days when you can and days when you can't. But it covers everything. It covers, yes, you're absolutely right that's primarily the rule violation that they would be looking for, but it covers everything. Because at any time if you're doing something shady, something you're not supposed to do, there could be somebody in the back of the boat watching what you're doing. From the perspective of Vosker, I think this is a great partnership with Major League Fishing and the Invitationals. If you go back to last year or the year before when we started using Bubba scales are very cool. You weigh your fish, it puts it in, and it sends that information to the tournament director. They can tally it. It gives everybody the knowledge of where you're at as long as you weigh in your fish. And they were very good scales, and we liked them, and I liked using them. Well, the company, the Bubba company, blew up when it came to notoriety for their product because we were using them. Now, the first couple of years since we've been using them, that was all on Bubba. They had to provide the scales. They taught us how to use it. We didn't get to keep them. We had to give them back at the end of the year. But the point is, because they partnered with the Invitationals, provided those scales for us to be used, they got a lot of anglers that got used to using their product and found out that we really enjoyed it. There was a lot of notoriety because every time we held up a fish, we were holding it up on a Bubba scale. And since then, I mean, their name recognition has gone through the roof. A great partnership. I think the same thing could be said for Vosker. I mean, it's a company I had never heard of, and now all of a sudden I'm looking up the VKX, which is the camera that we're using, and looking at the, and I'm going, hey, I could use it at the barn and things like that. And this is before I've ever even put my hands on it. I could see this being a great partnership, between the two also. So like I said, it's a neat thing, and I think it's great for the sport.
Yeah.
I really do. Guys, I'm curious to hear what you guys think of this. I think it's a positive move.
I do too.
I think it's a win-win for the two companies. As an angler, I certainly have absolutely no, I'm not going to go on the other side and say, oh, Big Brother's watching me. This is a place where I want Big Brother to be watching me. Go ahead, watch all you want. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Right.
And I want you watching the guys who sometimes do something wrong.
Absolutely.
Is it 100% deterrent? No, but it's a good step in the right direction. It doesn't interfere with people, going about their normal fishing tournament, responsibilities. I think it's a great move.
Even out the playing field.
Yeah, and I applaud Major League Fishing and the Tackle Warehouse Invitationals, Kevin Hunt, and Vosker for getting together, partnering and being able to make this happen. So I'll give you more information as the season goes on. We're going to start using them in Kissimmee, I believe, and so we'll go from there. Guys, send us in your comments. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button. I don't know what has taken you so long.
Don't know.
Come on, get it done. And we'll see you on Monday for another episode of Mark Fisher Outdoors. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care.
Stay channeled.